The rain had been falling for hours, turning the river below the bridge into a roaring, restless force, when a small golden shape appeared at the edge of the railing, trembling but refusing to move away. Cars rushed past, water sprayed from their tires, and the city felt loud and uncaring, yet in that single moment everything seemed to narrow to one desperate truth. A baby retriever was begging the world to stop and notice, because her mother was about to be taken by the river. If you believe in kindness, in second chances, and in the quiet miracles that happen when hearts choose to care, take a moment right now to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps stories like this reach people who still believe goodness matters. The baby retriever had been born only a few months earlier, into a life that was simple and warm despite its hardships. Her world had been her mother's fur, the rhythm of her breathing at night, and the long walks along the riverbank where smells told stories of birds, mud, and distant rain. Her mother was strong and patient, a golden retriever whose eyes carried both gentleness and a quiet understanding of survival. They had no home, no human family to call their own, but they had each other, and that had always been enough. The river was usually their friend, offering cool air and soft sounds, but on that day it had changed, swollen by storms upstream and darkened by anger. They had wandered onto the bridge because fear had pushed them there. The rain had soaked their resting place, and the rising water chased them from the riverbank. The bridge felt safer, higher, away from the flood, but it was unfamiliar, loud, and slick with rain. The mother walked carefully, her paws slipping as she tried to keep her baby close. A sudden sound, a horn blaring too close, startled her. In one terrible second, her footing gave way. Her body slid toward the edge, claws scraping against wet concrete, eyes wide with panic as gravity pulled her down. The baby retriever froze for a heartbeat, her small body shaking as she watched her mother slip over the railing. Instinct screamed at her to run, to hide, to save herself, but love anchored her feet. She rushed forward, her tiny paws skidding, and caught sight of her mother hanging below, tangled against the side of the bridge, barely holding on. Below them, the river churned like a living thing, hungry and loud, ready to claim whatever fell into it. The mother's strength was fading, her muscles strained, her body soaked and heavy. Time felt cruelly slow. The baby retriever did the only thing she knew how to do. She cried out, a raw, aching sound that cut through the noise of rain and traffic. She ran along the railing, stopping anyone she could, placing her paws against the cold metal, her eyes fixed on her mother below. She did not understand cars or bridges or humans, but she understood desperation. Her cries were not loud enough to stop the river, but they were loud enough to reach a few hearts passing by. At first, people hurried past, heads down, jackets pulled tight against the rain, minds filled with their own worries. Some noticed the small dog but assumed she was lost or scared by the storm. Then someone looked over the railing. The sight below froze them in place. A large golden retriever clung desperately, her body pressed against the bridge's side, the river roaring inches away. Panic spread quickly. Someone shouted for help. Another person stopped, then another. In moments, strangers became witnesses, and witnesses became participants in something far bigger than themselves. The baby retriever watched it all with unblinking focus. She did not understand the words, but she felt the shift in the air. She felt hope. She ran back and forth along the bridge, whining, tugging at pant legs, her small body soaked and shivering but determined. To her, these humans were the last chance. Every second mattered. Every breath her mother took felt like a fragile victory. Someone found a rope in the back of a vehicle, thick and rough, meant for work, not rescue. Hands moved quickly, tying knots, testing strength. The rain made everything harder. The bridge was slippery, the wind cold, and the river below seemed to grow louder, as if mocking the effort. The mother dog struggled weakly, her grip failing, her head lifting just enough to look up. Her eyes met her baby's for a brief, piercing moment. In that look was fear, love, and a quiet apology, as if she were already preparing to let go. The baby retriever reacted with a force that surprised everyone watching. She grabbed the loose end of the rope with her small mouth, pulling backward with everything she had. Her paws dug into the wet ground, her body straining, her growls turning into desperate whimpers. It was not enough to lift her mother, not even close, but it was enough to show everyone there what love looked like when it refused to surrender. The sight of that tiny dog pulling with all her might broke something open in the hearts of the people around her. More hands joined the rope. Muscles strained. Shoes slipped. Someone nearly fell, caught just in time by another stranger's grip. The rope tightened, and slowly, painfully, the mother dog began to rise. The river lashed out, splashing cold water against her body, trying one last time to pull her back. The mother's strength was nearly gone, but the rope held, and the people held, and the baby retriever held on too, her teeth clenched, her body shaking violently. The moment the mother was lifted over the railing and onto the bridge felt unreal, like the world itself had paused to breathe. She collapsed onto the wet concrete, chest heaving, eyes blinking in disbelief. The baby retriever released the rope and rushed to her side, pressing her small body against her mother's neck, licking her face frantically as if to reassure herself that this was real, that she had not failed. Around them, grown adults stood silent, some with hands over their mouths, others wiping rain from their faces that might not have been rain at all. The storm did not stop. Cars continued to pass. The river continued to roar. But something had changed. In the middle of an ordinary, brutal day, a miracle had unfolded, stitched together by fear, courage, and the stubborn love of a baby dog who refused to walk away. Someone wrapped a jacket around the mother. Another knelt down, gently checking her injuries. Calls were made. Plans formed. The dogs were no longer invisible. As they waited for help to arrive, the baby retriever stayed pressed against her mother, her body a shield, her eyes never leaving her. She was exhausted, her small frame trembling uncontrollably now that the danger had passed, but she did not move. She had done her job. She had saved the one being who was her entire world. The mother, though weak, shifted slightly to rest her head against her baby, as if drawing strength from her presence, as if to say that even in her weakest moment, she had not been alone. When animal rescue volunteers finally arrived, lights flashing softly against the rain, they approached with care and reverence, as though stepping into something sacred. They lifted the mother gently, placed her on a stretcher, and the baby retriever followed closely, refusing to be separated. The volunteers understood without needing explanation. Some bonds did not need words. They wrapped the baby too, dried her fur, spoke softly as they carried both dogs to safety. The drive away from the bridge was quiet. The city faded behind them, replaced by the steady rhythm of tires on wet roads. In the back of the rescue vehicle, the baby retriever curled against her mother, finally allowing her eyes to close. The fear that had driven her moments earlier had drained away, leaving only exhaustion and relief. Her mother's breathing steadied, each rise and fall a promise that she was still here. At the rescue center, the story spread quickly. Volunteers paused in their work to listen, to look at the two golden retrievers resting together. Hardened by years of seeing loss, many felt something inside them soften. This was why they did what they did. This was proof that love did not belong only to humans, and that bravery did not require size or strength, only heart. Days passed. The mother recovered slowly, her body healing, her spirit mending. The baby retriever never left her side. They were given names, warm beds, and care they had never known before. But what stayed with everyone who met them was not just the happy ending, but the memory of that bridge, that rain, and that moment when a baby dog chose to fight for her mother against a river that seemed unstoppable. Near the end of this story, if it has touched your heart even a little, please take a moment to like the video, share it with someone who believes in compassion, and subscribe to the channel. Your engagement helps keep stories of hope alive in a world that often forgets them. And before we close, I want to ask you something special. Please leave a comment below telling us what this story made you feel, or share a moment when you witnessed unexpected courage or kindness. Your words matter more than you know. The baby retriever never understood the danger she faced that day, nor the impact of her actions on the people who watched her. She only knew one simple truth: her mother needed her. In that truth, she found strength beyond fear, courage beyond instinct, and love powerful enough to stop a rushing river. And for everyone who heard her story, she became a reminder that sometimes the smallest hearts carry the greatest bravery, and that hope often arrives on four trembling paws when we least expect it.